Hey everybody, it's Brad with the Big Family Homestead, and in this video we're talking about something might be a little bit of a eyebrow raiser, and that is the Internet of Everything. So Brad, you have a homestead. You guys grow things and you tend animals and you try and make and do as much stuff as you possibly can without going to the store. Yes, that is true. So why are you talking about the Internet of Everything? Well, I'll tell you. But before I do, I want you guys to know, you the viewer, we are going to have a little bit of Q&A time. I'm going to be asking some questions of you, and we're going to have polling data because I'm genuinely interested to see if it's just me that's concerned about this, or there's mild concern or a lot of concern. So please don't forget to put comments down below so it helps, you know, engage the whole conversation, right? So the Internet of Everything. Well, I was chatting with a friend of the channel not too terribly long ago who went to the CES convention, and that is the world's biggest, mightiest, awesomest electronics everything convention. Everything from microchips to you know, RC to drones to software. If it's electronic, they got it. And this is all the cutting edge stuff. And so I was chatting with him and I said, well, what was the big thing this year? And he said, the Internet of Everything. And I said, well, that's interesting. Well, what is the Internet of Everything? He said, well, everybody, all the companies, everybody had this buzzword going, the Internet of Everything. And what it is it's connectivity with every device, every widget, gidget, gizmo, thingamabobber, and hoogie what's all of them, they're all connected together in a network by Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or some way of connecting. And I said, well, you know, I mean, we have the internet now and we have connected devices like my phone, and we have all that stuff. And he said, well, no, this is a whole new level. Everything from refrigerators now, I don't know if you know this, but refrigerators now can monitor what food is in the fridge, and it can tell you on your phone, it'll communicate, hey, when you go to the store, pick up this, and this in your low. Weird. Really, really weird. But that's just the beginning of it. That's the tip of the iceberg. He told me about products such as bottles, like a regular old plastic bottle that had Wi-Fi built in it so that it would know when it was getting empty so you could rehydrate yourself. Ooh, creepy, creepy stuff. Here's another one. Baby diapers. These are disposable baby diapers that monitor when there's poo or pee in there, and then it sends mom a text, or dad, get off your sofa and come change the diaper. Now, that's not even scratching the surface. The industry, I was looking on the Cisco website because they were prominent in the Internet is Everything, and I started looking around and poking around, and this is going to be a massive, they're talking trillions of dollars, reworking everything so that everything around you, all the devices that are electronic, will communicate with each other about whatever it is feedback data they have. Now you say, well, that sounds a little creepy and a little off, but I'm sure that this will be good. I mean, my cell phone, I love my cell phone. I can, you know, use it as a calculator. I can use it as an email device. I can make phone calls with it, which is hilarious because that's one of the few things we actually do with them anymore. But any number of things. It's a computer in your pocket. Well, how could that possibly be bad? Well, just hold on. Before we get to our polling questions, hear me out. They're talking about wearable sensors that you would put on your skin or in your clothing that would track health data on you, okay? It would track blood pressure, stats, all that kind of stuff, and it was connected to the network, and it could talk to all your widgets, gidgets, and gadgets, and you would literally be part of the network. Still saying, Brad, I'm not convinced. It sounds like a pretty darn good thing. Well, imagine this. And this has happened to me, and I'm going to ask, how many of you has this happened to? Okay, this is one of the polling questions. How many of you have not had a computer on and you're in a room and you're chatting with a loved one or a friend or whomever, and you're talking about an item. Let's say the item is, I need to get a new hard drive. Oh yeah, you get a new hard drive? Yeah, I need a new hard drive. And there's no electronic stuff on, your computer's off, and then next thing you know it, when you turn your computer on, there's advertising for hard drives. Happens to me all the time. Creepy? Yes. Here's something. If you own a smart TV, like one of those smart televisions that's integrated into the internet, you know that big terms of service contract that you just scrolled through just so that you get to the agree, and you hit agree, and now all of a sudden everything works and it's great? Well, in that terms of service contract, it says that any data that is collected, and they do have listening devices in the TV, and this is so not conspiracy theory. Look it up for yourself. If I'm lying, I'm dying. And you signed off on any data collected, they can do whatever it is they want with it. Now that's just TVs. You know, you've got these new fangled assistants. Google's got this little assistant that listens to you all the time, and gives you feedback, and it'll make suggestions, or you can ask it a question. And that seems pretty cool, except for when it becomes way too intrusive. Now, this was conveyed to me by this friend of mine, and he said that from time to time, it knows when you're leaving the house because it geolocates you. It knows where the phone is. It's got a tracking software in there. And so it knows by habit and rote when this person was normally going to leave their house and to go to work or wherever it is they're going to go. It knows that. And it made a reminder, phone bings, bing, seeing that you're 15 minutes late, I've updated the traffic patterns so that you can avoid traffic. Huh. Still sounds like a good thing, right? What do you think? Comments down below, but here's what I really want to get to. All this technology, all of this stuff, if everything is interconnected, everything, that sure would be convenient for a lot of applications, wouldn't it? But think about humans for just a moment as I pensively stroke my beard. Humans have this knack. It's really it's a terrifying skill that we can take something that was intended for awesomeness and just use it to warp and distort and destroy and bring horrible situations to anything. Think about it throughout history, okay? Here's a basic one. It's said, historians have said that when the actual sword was created and they went into battle with this sword, the justification for making the sword was, this weapon is so brutal and so devastating and so deadly and will strike the fear into anybody's heart that it will end all war. Well, how exactly did that work out? And then they did that with the rifle, and then the cannon, and now the nuclear bomb. They all thought the same thing. This weapon is so terrifying that this will end all war. There's no way anybody would want to fill in the blank, right? So now you've got this technology that is interwoven into every speck of your life, whether you like it or not. Matter of fact, think about this. Every time you use Google, there's data. Sure, it's willing, and sure, right now we're getting benefit, but what happens when somebody doesn't like you? What happens if your government says, you know what, we need a new internet, because the internet that you have right now, there's a lot of false information on there. There's a lot of fake news on there. We need to make sure that you hear and see only what's approved. Kind of starting to sound a little Orwellian, 1984, right? Well, what happens when they take these technologies and you are no longer approved? Let me pick on the homesteaders right now for just a moment, because I am a homesteader, okay? Yeah, we only have 1 acre, but we do a lot and blah, blah, blah. But let's take homesteading. Let's just say that you want to collect rainwater and you want to live as much off-grid as you can and you want to have animals, and the powers that be say, you know what, no, you can't. And let's just say that being a homesteader and being headstrong, like I'm sure none of you are headstrong, right? That you go ahead and put your rain catchment system up behind your house anyway. Not for anybody to see, but it's back there, right? Well, it's only a matter of time till one of your devices rats you out. Think about that one for a second. What about if you wanted to have chickens? Maybe you've got a watch that's connected. Maybe you have the refrigerator that's connected. Maybe you have your computer just plain listens and conveys that data because everything is connected. Now, you may say, that's crazy. Well, I just won't get this. I just won't get that. Well, what happens, guys? Think about that. If you don't stay within some kind of balance with the rest of society, like let's say the rest of society is over here and they're plugged in. They're literally doing chips and stuff and they're trying to implement their bodies. But we're down here and we're going, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I don't want to be a part of this. What will happen is eventually we'll be outdated. We will not be able to communicate with them. We will not be able to be in their world because they're so far above us technologically, there will be a gap of even communication. Think about that. Everything in their world happens, blah, 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 blah. They just have to think about it and they know it. Google, Siri's already told you what it is that you are going to want because it knows your patterns so well. It knows, oh, when I'm over here searching this, this, and this, he's going to want me to turn on The Walking Dead on TV. So you walk into the room and The Walking Dead's on TV. Sounds great, except for when people get involved and when people have agendas and people want to use this. So, questions. Here's one I have for you. In your world, is this a good thing, a bad thing, or are you indifferent? So up in the corner, one of these corners up here, there's gonna be a little card that pops up, an eye. We're gonna start the polling there. Is this idea of internet everything a good idea, a bad idea? Are you indifferent? And if you have some other comment, put it down below. Second question is this. How important is your privacy? Because think about this. Through all this process, there won't be any privacy eventually. And this is coming fast. Privacy, very important. Mildly important. Not so important. And if you have another comment, put it down below. Now, last question before we sign off and say adieu. Is there anything we can do about it? Is the snowball already got so much momentum and it's just picking up more snow that it's gonna crash down there? Is there anything we can do about it? Yes, absolutely. Maybe, probably not, no. So the internet of everything, guys. I've always thought that just because you can do a thing does not always mean you should do a thing. There you have it. The bee in my bonnet has now been released, and I'm hoping that you will add to the conversation, and maybe as a race, as a human people, that maybe we can start making better decisions before we just unleash Pandora from the box. Anyway, I'm Brad with the Big Family Homestead. You guys have an amazing day.